Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Today is, July 15th, 2020. And today, coming to you with some breaking news. I've just recently been informed. Oh, but before I tell you that, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Love the comments in the comment section. The one or two I'm getting. Let's get a few more out there. Yeah, but I just recently, within the past couple of minutes, just found out that my mama lied to me, man. God rest her soul. I just found out I'm not Black. And I'm gonna share this with you guys. And this is coming from the National Museum of African American History. And, it's a shock to me. It's gonna take a little while for me to get over this. But, white culture, man. Talking about race here, the aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture in the United States. So, what is it? White dominant culture or whiteness refers to the ways white people and their traditions, attitudes, and ways of life have been normalized over time and are now considered standard practices in the United States. And since white people still hold most of the institutional power in America, we have all internalized some aspects of white culture, including people of color. So, some aspects of white culture. Rugged individualism. If you didn't know, and if you're not white, the individual is the primary unit, self-reliance. If you hold that to be near and dear to your heart, if that's your outlook on life, like, well, I'm gonna have the agency for myself first. I'm gonna do whatever I can to make my life better and the life around me better. Then, as Jeff Foxworthy would say, you're probably a redneck, but you're probably not a redneck, you're just white, because rednecks weren't responsible for America being the great country that it became, okay? So since apparently the National Museum of African American History and Culture never heard of the four distinct cultures that came from Europe, well, not Europe, but England, to migrate to America, including the beloved redneck or North Englanders, the North Borderland region of England, those folks, and they were called rednecks when they were over there, so don't say I'm insulting someone. But you had the rednecks, you had the Cavalier culture, which was totally distinct from that culture. You had the Puritans, who were distinct from that culture, and you had the Quakers, who were distinct from that culture. What the Quakers and Puritans had in common was their belief in more egalitarianism, and what the Cavaliers had at the center of their culture was a belief in a hierarchical society. Two totally different things, but hey, don't matter. Let's whitewash all that. And as far as rugged individualism is concerned, that was needed for the frontier, and a lot of the famous white people who went out there in the frontier were, from the North Borderlands of England. So, yeah. So again, the individual is the primary unit, and self-reliance. No other culture on the planet values that, according to the National Museum of African American Studies. Independent and autonomy, highly valued and rewarded. Okay. Individuals assumed to be in control of their environment. You get what you deserve. Individual freedom comes with individual responsibilities. So if you are white, you just automatically believe in individual freedom and responsibility. I wonder why people in Poland didn't come up with a similar Declaration of Independence, or white folks in the Slavic regions, or Russians. They had czars forever, and then guess what they got? They got Lenin, Marxism, right? Let's move on. The nuclear family, father, mother, 2.3 children, is the ideal social unit. So is the single mother the ideal social unit for Black culture? I'm just wondering, because that seems to be the primary social unit for the Black community since the 60s, whereas, somewhere along the line, when Blacks were born, 85% of Black children were born to two-family households, we used to be white. So somewhere along the line, we became not white, and I guess we became Black. I wonder where that line is. Could it happen to be around the welfare state of the 60s, after the civil rights struggle was over? They got rights for everybody. After that was over, maybe Black folks strayed away from being white and into what's now considered not white. Because white culture, the ideal family unit is, mother, father, and, now 70, 85%, not 85, but over 70% of Black kids are born in single parent families. Husband is the breadwinner and head of the household. Okay. Obviously, Japanese people are white. Chinese people are white. Nigerians, if you didn't know. Just, if you ain't know. And Indians, not Native Americans, Indians of East India. Yeah, if you didn't know, they're white too. Wife is homemaker and subordinate to the husband. Since when? Okay, is there a date on this? Like, when's the last time you seen a wife subservient to her husband? Now, that brings up a good point. I was just thinking about this today, how when being a home mother used to be ideal and respected, and when working, but somehow, I wonder if this is around the 60s again, working at home was viewed upon as basically slavery, but working for the man is viewed as freedom. So you can stay at home, raise your kids, and make sure you're looking after their well-being and society's well-being by keeping your badass kids out of my house breaking in at night, right? Or you can leave your kids to the welfare of somebody else, namely a bad school and some idiot kids who also don't have another parent in the house. You can leave them and go work for the man. You get a little paycheck, but all your labor is really doing is helping some shareholders you don't even know exist. So which one makes more sense? Well, I'll let you decide. Now, the wife is the homemaker and subordinate to the husband. Okay, whatever. Children should have own rooms, be independent. Okay. Again, I guess Japanese people, like the whole family I stayed with, they were white too, because all their kids had their own rooms. Wow, I didn't know, man. I'm mind blown. Okay. Emphasis on the scientific method. Man, look. It wouldn't be funny if it wasn't so damn sad. Okay, objective, rational, linear thinking. So obviously, if you're emotional, you're not white, which would lead you to think you're probably Black, right? So objective, rational, linear thinking. I wonder if that had anything to do with getting to the moon. You know what? Next time, Elon Musk, if you're out there, I know you want to go to Mars, but let's just put a whole bunch of emotional, irrational thinking people on that project. Let's see how fast we get there. Okay. So now with that said, Andre never said that all Black people are emotional, irrational thinkers. We have Black astronauts, folks. Okay. I'll go on. Cause and effect relationships. You know what? I want this job. How old am I? I'm in the 12th grade. What job do I want? I want to be the Supreme Court Justice of the United States. Now, I know that's going to be hard, but I'm going to turn my whole outlook on life around right now. I know I'm about to graduate with a 2.3 average, but I'm going to go to an online college, and then I'm going to get a degree. Then I'm going to go to an online law school. Then I'm going to pass the bar. Then somehow I'm going to believe, I'm going to pray real hard. And then one day I'm going to be on the Supreme Court. Cause and effect relationships. It don't work that way, homie. Pookie or little Jeffro in the Appalachian Mountain somewhere. If you want to be on the Supreme Court, you got to start early. LeBron James didn't start playing basketball when he was 17, all right? Neither most professional anythings, right? Look at one of the greatest entertainers of all time, Sammy Davis Jr. And then look after him, Michael Jackson. He was making more money than all y'all at the age of 5. He ain't wake up one day at 21 and was like, you know what, I'm gonna do an off the wall album. I know I don't know nobody, but I heard of this guy named Quincy Jones. I'm just gonna make it happen. It don't work like that. Okay, quantitative emphasis. I don't even know what that is, man. So based on Northern European immigrants' experience in the United States, true, heavy focus on British Empire, true, but they fail to mention how that empire, you know, like the 1619 Project I mentioned on the podcast before, they want to start America in the country we know and love or hate in 1619 when the colonies were a part of the British Empire. They don't talk about how the colonists didn't want slavery, and every time they tried to get rid of slavery, the king or the queen, no Queen Mary, and then King James, the original Declaration of Independence actually addresses this issue directly. And if you haven't heard of it, it's because your school won't teach it, but thank God for Google. So just Google it. Every time they tried to get rid of the institution of slavery, the king would veto it with his negative. He would prostitute his negative, one of my favorite sayings. And I got that straight from Thomas Jefferson in the original draft of the Declaration of Independence. The primacy of Western Greek, Roman, and Judeo-Christian tradition. Okay. Protestant work ethic. Hey, they mentioned the Protestants, okay, the non-Catholics. Well, basically, they think they're talking about the Quakers and the Puritans. Hard work is the key to success. So if you're not white, being lazy is the key to success. Not working at all is the key to success. Just being lucky is the key to success. Having a talent and being discovered is the key to success. My mother, yes, she ain't white either. She always told me hard work is the key to success. Man, I wonder if you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna instantly get a boost in my tax rate. And I'm gonna probably fall into an upper, not tax rated, credit score. And I'm gonna get a bump in my, they're gonna bump me up in the tax code. So I'm gonna have to pay more taxes now that I'm white. Work before play. No, that's what's wrong. That's why periodically people call, say I'm a sellout or Uncle Tom. They ain't gonna say it to my face. But work before play. Again, when I was in Japan, I thought all those people, when they say it was 99.6% Japanese, they lied to me. It was 99.6% white people in Japan. And like all the Nigerians, right, who immigrated here recently, or the Black Caribbeans, or the Blacks from South America, they all white too. What in the world is going on? Where's the diversity? Okay, now if you didn't meet your goals, you didn't work hard enough. Okay. I see that. I can see that. I can see that. Makes sense to me. I mean, I wanted to go to Harvard Law. But in junior high, I didn't learn anything. I mean, seriously, nothing. I had the most fun a person has ever had in junior high, with middle school. 7th and 8th grade was a party, man. I cried when we had days off. Now, I wonder if that had anything to do with me not getting into Harvard Law. Well, I guess I'll just have to wonder about it. But it's a good thing that this was pointed out to me. And now that now you know it too. So if you happen to be Asian, African, Asian, let's break that down, like Chinese, Mongolian, from Thai, if you're Fijian, and you work hard, you work before play, you're white. Don't worry about it. It's all good. But with that, I'm gonna let you guys go. Keep that in mind. But before I go, this is one of the biggest problems in the African-American community. We have internalized components that lead to success. We've made it synonymous with white people or white culture, which is the dumbest thing and the most harmful thing you could ever do to a group of people. And what we've done in exchange, because it wasn't always that way. I'm gonna say pre-1960s, Blacks were a different group of people. They kind of look like this, what modern day Black people are claiming represents white culture, and what their liberal friends, I wouldn't even say liberal, their extremely left-leaning friends want to, propagate. Hopefully that made sense. So what you did was you took aspects of what it means to be successful in a free market, and you equate it with being white. So now if you're not white, you basically have to acquire a license from white people to be successful. Now, if you're Black and you're proud of being Black, or you're proud to be Asian, or you're proud to be whatever, you don't want to have to buy a license or, to be successful. You just want to be successful. And what's even worse than equating successfulness with whiteness is equating socialism with Blackness. And look, I'm gonna let it go. I'll save it for another podcast. With that, if you're still with me, like, share, and subscribe. Spread this around. America needs you to wake up and know what's going on. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I hope you guys are safe out there. Peace, love, and all that good stuff. And I'm out.